The weekend is nearly with us, and it's La Liga week 13. I have Roman and I've got Martin. But first of all, a little bit of a housekeeping, and it's a bit of a pat on the back, and it's also a little bit of a please. So please subscribe, press the button, ring the bell. Ring the bell means that we'll notify you. And obviously, going into the holiday period, you're going to need to be notified when we're going to fit these shows in, because it's going to be completely mental. There might be 2 shows a week. There's going to be football, soccer, just going crazy over the next 3 to 4 weeks. Also, if you press the link in the description, that'll take you over to either Martin, Tan or Alex or Dave's articles on soccer. But there's also articles over there on every sport that we cover on SBR. Now, the little bit of housekeeping is that I have to do the analytics. The analytics are that we are so thankful for so many of you joining us, so many of you supporting us, so many of you getting involved, and more of you are getting involved in the chat, which is great because we love that. It's like we're having a chat around the table, and then we take away from what you say. Most of what I say, you just throw out the window anyway and hammer me. But I love the fact that you leave comments underneath as well, and we're trying to reply to them. 68% of our watchers are subscribed, which is brilliant. But that means 32% of you are watching, but they're not subscribing. Is it because, like, you're not understanding what I'm saying? So it says subscribe, right? And if you haven't subscribed, you're one of them 32%, which means probably about 32,000 viewers over the course of a month have not subscribed. So would you please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell so that I can notify you. And then I know that when I go back into the analytics next week, I know you're listening to me. Anyway, that's it. Done. Real Madrid getting the job done, and as you know, I've got them in a massive parlay, so I want them to step up. This weekend they've got Atletico Madrid, so it's going to go completely bonkers. I'm with Madrid. Roman, how are you first of all, sir?
I'm very good, thank you. Ready for this match day with very interesting games, as you mentioned, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid, the biggest game of the weekend. And as you said, Madrid have been very good in the difficult games, we could say. Against weaker sides, we're seeing a terrible Madrid. Against the stronger sides, we're seeing a very, very dangerous Madrid. So it's going to be interesting to see which version, but most likely we'll get the dangerous Madrid.
Roman, is it fair to say that this Madrid derby is taking over from El Clasico, especially with Barcelona just languishing mid-table?
Well, El Clasico will always be El Clasico. Let's not forget that. But it's true that it may be a bit more entertaining, and especially it's the game which might decide the competition, because Barcelona, unless something changes really quickly, which I doubt, isn't really going to fight for this title. So Atletico and Real Madrid this season are the 2 candidates to lift the trophy.
Yeah, well, I'm with Real Madrid all the way, Martin. Value is obviously with the visitors, but remember, there's no fans. So does that even it out?
Yeah, certainly. I'm just fascinated by looking at the chat. I love the passion that some of the people are showing in here. Have to obviously apologise to Mateo Sabligic, because not every single one of the predictions I gave out last time was correct, but 3 out of 4 isn't bad. And many apologies for saying that your hometown club would lose to a very, very strong AZ Alkmaar team, who have been very good this season. But yeah, moving forward, looking forward to enjoying this La Liga show. Very difficult card, I think, and found a little bit of value on the Madrid derby, but I'm going to be passing a few games today.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And as I say to anyone, you pass. That's the main thing. I don't get involved in some games just because I don't trust one of the teams. I bet with them, they lose. I bet against them, they turn it on and don't look like nothing like the side that lost when I put my money down. But listen, just pin your ears back. Get yourselves involved in the chat. We've got 74 of you watching, 34 of you have pressed that thumbs up. So make sure the thumb goes blue, and then I understand that you're enjoying it. It takes half a second just to press that thumbs up, and it means that you're enjoying the show and you appreciate all the work that Roman, Paco, or Ewan do from La Liga Lowdown. And obviously, we've got Martin, who's a staple dyer. Let's kick straight off with this evening game, because it's a team that I really like against a team who continue to frustrate. Roman, Valladolid at plus 155. I gobbled that up. Draw plus 220. Osasuna plus 240. Osasuna don't score goals and don't look like they want to score goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Osasuna are not in a good moment. They're quite in a critical stage, I'd say, in this competition, because they're incapable of getting the wins they need. And to add up to all those problems they have on the field, they have lots of injuries, with Lucas Torro, a very important midfielder, unavailable. Johnny, who was also injured recently, is still not ready, and Adrian Sanchez up in attack where they're lacking lots of goals. So those are three important men that Osasuna won't have for this game. And the truth is they desperately need the win. That's maybe the slight advantage they might have, because they have to win at some point, and this could be a game for that, because there's an interesting stat where Valladolid have only won one game against Osasuna in the last 11 they've played in Valladolid Stadium, José Zorrilla. So it's a team which goes there to Valladolid and puts the home team under a lot of pressure. So only one win out of 11 is quite impressive. But as you said, at the moment, Valladolid are much stronger. They're playing the better football. They just got that defeat against Atletico in the last 4 games, and they played out of the 3 very good games. So in terms of the football, they're the favorite team. They should win this game, but be careful because Osasuna get some good results at the José Zorrilla.
Yeah, this is where stats can be a little bit misleading, because Osasuna, we know, they're our staple diet, that when they're at home, they're very, very tough to beat. This is not the Osasuna of them stats that you just give. Martin, I'm happy with Valladolid. And when I saw that there was plus 150 and plus available, I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was certainly leaning towards Valladolid. They do look like the sensible pick in this game for the Friday night match. But both of these teams have been struggling for form recently. I just can't quite split them. I think Osasuna have a chance of causing an upset here, even though they've been in very bad form. I was maybe looking at under 2.5 goals for the match, but it just doesn't really excite me, this one. It's not like an AZ Alkmaar versus Rijeka game for me, so I'm going to pass on this one.
Well, I bet you're up all night thinking of Rijeka versus AZ Alkmaar. Listen, Valladolid at 155. You can even go draw no bet, and maybe it'll be around minus 160, but you'll sit there in your comfort. I cannot see Osasuna winning this game. I'm looking forward to watching it, though. Let's kick on to the weekend's games, because there's there could be some banana skins there. And we're going to start with you, Martin. Valencia plus 230, draw plus 225, and Athletic Club at plus 150. Now, Bilbao, they looked like they were decent. I watched them last week. They got turned over and they went back. So now, Bilbao, no, not interested.
No, I can see why you wouldn't be interested in backing Athletic Bilbao this weekend. I did say a couple of weeks ago, never bet on any more Valencia games. Just draw a line through them at the start of the your prediction process, and just focus on the other 9 games. I almost went against that advice, and I was going to go for under 2.5 goals in this game, because I do think it's going to be a bit of a dreary affair between 2 teams that aren't playing particularly well. But the odds weren't really attractive enough for me to go for it, so it's going to be another pass from me. I wouldn't advise putting big money on any games featuring Valencia this season, because they're so unpredictable. A lot of good players, a lot of poor players that are stepping up and filling the shoes of good players that left. So it's a bit of a strange situation. I think it's going to be an odd season for them, and don't really like them from a betting perspective at all.
Roman Athletic Club, they come under the unpredictable, flat track bullies, and you cannot rely on them, because they put great performance a few weeks ago. Then they go away from home and they were unlucky. And then last week they got absolutely tortured at home. Never looked like scoring. Is this the type of game where they think, oh, well, we can win this game, so we'll be a little bit more adventurous?
Well, I mean, as Martin said, I think Valencia are a team which are very reliable. And as you said, Bilbao aren't a team which are very reliable. So I think we can put those 2 statements together and understand that this is going to be a very unpredictable game. I think Athletic Bilbao are a bit better form than they were at the beginning, but it's true that away they still struggle a lot. They've had no wins in the last 4 away games, and they've conceded in the last 8 away games. So they always get goals against them, which is also quite dangerous. And I just kind of feel like Valencia might get something out of this, maybe a draw, maybe a win. They are very unpredictable, but I mean, at some point they have to get points, because they're Valencia, they're an important side. And as a matter of fact, Athletic Club have never won 2 consecutive games at Mestalla, and they won the last game last season. So it's very unlikely they will win this season, because the last win they had, 2 consecutive wins they had, was in 1988, which was a long, long time ago. So it's likely that Valencia might get something out of this, but as Martin said before, they're very unpredictable, so it's better not to bet on them. And also their main striker, Maxi Gomez, hasn't had a shot on target since the 3rd of October. That was 7 games ago against Real Betis, which is quite impressive. He did miss 2 games because of an injury, but on the other 5, he has had no shot on target, and he's their main striker because Gameiro is injured for this game. So Valencia, Athletic Club, it's a game you'd rather stay away from, I think.
Yeah, okay. In the chat, someone says that if I don't say hello to them, they will hit themselves over the head with a cricket bat. Crack away, my lad. Crack away. Go on. See how much good it does for you. Getafe, plus 300, Roman. Draw, plus 220. And Sevilla at plus 110. Roman, before I come to you, people have said, why does Flash say Sevilla? Well, we had number Juan on, who comes from Argentina. And he says the right pronunciation of Sevilla or Sevilla is Sevilla. So that's why I say Sevilla, because the Argentinian Don told me it was Sevilla. Roman, is it Sevilla or Sevilla?
I mean, both are correct, of course. As you mentioned,
Sevilla, they kind of right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they kind of have more of this Andalusian accent, and also the Argentinians have this weird pronunciation with the S that can kind of sound like that. So Sevilla could come up in certain parts of Spain, but outside of Andalusia and other parts, we say Sevilla. But I mean, it's perfectly correct to use both.
Yeah, but I'm happy that you said weird and number Juan in the same sentence. Okay, Roman, where are we going to go? Does Sevilla go and win the game? Because at plus 110, it's either a trap or it's absolutely delicious, because Getafe, they have just disappointed home or away. And if they don't buck up soon, they're going to be in trouble.
I think it's a pretty tasty pick. I mean, Sevilla, we all know, are a fantastic side. They lost against Real Madrid in the last game, but we know that Madrid is a difficult team to win against, especially when you're a strong team, as I said before at the beginning of the show. And also, as you mentioned, Getafe are just not looking good at all. They've kind of lost that home turf advantage they used to have. Maybe it's because the fans are there, I don't know, but for some reason they're not getting good results there. Last win they had was against Barca, quite impressive, but since then they've kind of lacked any punch in attack, and defensively they don't even look as strong as they were before. And furthermore, last game, their main defender, Gene, got sent off, so he's missing that game. So that's a very important player out of the back four that Getafe won't have available. And as I said before, Sevilla are the superior side. They got this convincing win in the Champions League the other day. And it's true they have Jesus Navas, who's unavailable, who's injured, and Munir. But still, I think they have plenty of other good players to substitute them for this game. And I do consider that they should get a win at least against Getafe.
Yeah, and they won't be going there and winning 3-1, 3-0. This will be an unders game. So, I mean, I wouldn't stop anyone going Sevilla to win an under 2.5 goals. And the draw at the halftime, Martin, could well be on the cards.
Yeah, I thought I had a great bet for this one, under 2.5 goals. All Getafe's home matches are so drab and boring and low scoring. And we've seen many, many low scoring games from Sevilla in recent weeks as well. I think, yeah, just looking at it here, Sevilla only six goals on the road. Getafe only 7 goals in 6 games at home. So, yeah, there's not going to be a high-scoring affair. But the odds just aren't there. It's minus 200, which is abysmal, really.
What about the Sevilla win to 0?
Yeah, it looks interesting. If they do win, it's going to be by a sort of a 1-0 scoreline or something like that, you imagine, because they lack the firepower in attack to really blow teams away, but they dominate the games in midfield, control possession. I don't think this game's going to be played at a particularly high tempo. So yeah, but listening to Roman's analysis of it, I'm definitely leaning more and more towards an away win for Sevilla. Yeah, you might have twisted my arm to add that to my list of picks as well. I think Sevilla.
Yeah, why don't you just be safe and just go a little bit better than your under 5.5 or under 4.5, and maybe go Sevilla to win and under 3.5. Or if you think it's going to be under 2.5 and Sevilla win, it's just don't do Sevilla to win and under 2.5, because that means it's just Sevilla to win to 0. So I mean, there's plenty there, but we definitely.
You can also go on a bet builder and add in under 3.5 goals, say, and then add Sevilla draw double chance to it, and you'd probably get a decent price on that as well.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's another way of looking at it. And when the accountant comes out with new ways, they normally come up trumps. So have a little look at that. I think this is an absolute bet to nothing, Martin. Huesca plus 130. Draw 215. And Alaves at plus 265. Like the away side. I like the away side here because the home side, they don't create. And now on the back of me saying they don't create, they drew 3-3 away last week with late goals. But Huesca need 10 chances to put one away. I like Alaves to win at 265, but I like them even more, double chance to get something out of the game.
Yeah, I think going double chance would be the way to go with it, because Huesca are the draw kings of La Liga, as we know. They're the only team without a victory so far to their name, which is pretty worrying when you consider how deep we are into the season. They're very stubborn, they're difficult to play against, and they're good at fighting for a share of the spoils. But like you say, they seem to lack that killer instinct in front of goal. Obviously, they put 3 past Granada last weekend, but mainly they haven't really been putting their chances away, and that's seen them draw far too many games. So, yeah, there's definitely value there on Alaves. They've been in very good form in recent weeks. They did pretty well to hold Real Sociedad to a draw last weekend. I think Real Sociedad were missing some really important players for that game, where they just didn't have the creativity to put them away, even after Alaves had a man sent off. So I think they'll come into this game with a reasonable amount of confidence, and yeah, if I was going to play it, I'd be like you. I'd be going Alaves draw double chance. I think it could.
Roman, we like the away side to get something out of this game. Huesca, I mean, listen, even though they were 3-1 up with 4 minutes to go last week, Granada had a chance to win it 4-3 in the last minute and hit the post.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, I just think that draw is just going to affect them so much psychologically, because they were just so close to getting that first win. 3-1, there was, I think, 15 minutes left to play or something like that. Everyone thought the game was already won by Huesca. They just had to hold on with the score. They were defending quite well until they conceded the second goal, and they had some good counterattacks. So it just looked like it was going to be a Huesca win. They felt it so close. And right at the end, just losing that, it's kind of desesperating, it's horrible for that to happen when you're just so close to getting your first win. And as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Michel, the manager, has never won in La Liga at the moment. With Rayo Vallecano, when he was in this competition, he didn't get any wins and he got sacked before. And it looks like it's going in the same way now with Huesca. And I just kind of feel that Alaves is in good form. They haven't lost in the last 6 games, and they haven't ever lost against Huesca in the 2 games they've only played in La Liga between both sides. In the 18-19 season, Alaves won both those games, and I just see them getting something. So I consider the double chance a very good opportunity, taking into account that Huesca are very good at drawing games. They're one of the teams that draw more games. But I just kind of feel like Alaves could get something out of this, because I just feel like Huesca are going to be very affected by this, and it might even be Michel's last game as a manager at Huesca.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying so hard, but he hasn't got the quality. I mean, the team ethics. I mean, if you're a chairman and you've got him as your manager, and the way that they have performed against the results, you would give him time to try and work it out, or give him some players in the window just to finish off their good work, because their attitude and their togetherness is not even questioned. It's just getting the points. And obviously we know that some chairmen, they do actual boards, they do actually have short-termism, we say in football, and they want everything now. Well, a team like Huesca, they need to build, and they build slowly. And if you build slowly, it's like the house won't get blown down if it gets too windy. Now, I see you've already answered in the chat, Martin, about your favourite book. Obviously, the question was, what's the favourite book behind you, Martin? I wrote down, I thought it would be The History of Young Boys.
Well, I do know that you're the author of this.
Oh, here we go. Listen, joke's old. So joke's not old. I'm just trying to throw it in there.
I try to support you to the best of my ability, Flash, with your...
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, he Skypes me and gives me tips. Okay, now, obviously, this is the biggest game probably in Europe, even bigger than the Manchester derby that we're going to see this weekend, because it could well go a long way to seeing who is the champions of La Liga come May. It's Real at plus 140, draw plus 240, and Atletico at plus 220. Massive price on the visitors, but for me, I'm going with the whites, Roman.
I can understand why you would pick Real Madrid, as we mentioned at the beginning of the program. I mean, they're very good against the stronger sides. They needed to win the other day in Champions League against Mönchengladbach. They won the game because they had to qualify. Against Sevilla, they beat them despite people thought that they could drop points against them. They beat Barcelona. I mean, in the important games, Madrid are appearing, and this is one of those important games. And this could kind of be decisive in terms of the title run, because at the moment Atletico de Madrid already have a 6-point gap with one game also at hand, and it could go up to 9 points if they win. So Madrid have to do whatever it takes to not let them win. And also the good thing for Madrid is they're going to get back two important players such as Carvajal in that fullback position, and Fede Valverde, who's been very important in midfield when he's been available. So those are two interesting options for Zinedine Zidane. And on the other hand, as I said, Atletico have a golden opportunity to kind of run away and tell everybody else in this competition that we are the favorites to win La Liga title, because I doubt Real Sociedad will keep up this level. I doubt Villarreal have a real shot. I think it's going to be between Real Madrid and Atletico. So if Atletico can get a win here, it would be so important for them. But at the same time, I think they would be happy with a draw, especially if we take into account previous results between both sides, because in the last 8 games in La Liga between Atletico and Real Madrid, it's been 5 draws and 3 defeats for Atletico. They haven't won a single game. So a draw would possibly be a very good result for them. And also, I think it'll be a game which will see few goals, because it's usually a 0-0, a 1-1, 2-1, something like that. It doesn't tend to be a goal fest. So that's something also to keep in mind.
Yeah, the problem is 2-1 is an overs. Roman, gun to your head, who wins it?
I mean, I'm a Barca fan, so I would like to say Atletico, of course.
But of course, I'm not asking you about your heart. I want your head. I want your expert or your expertise, because the other one is Diego Costa. Where is his fitness? Because for me, I'm looking at a team that's going to be able to beat a Real Madrid side that are at it. You're going to need plenty pace on the break. There's no pace on the break coming from Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they have Correa and Joao Felix, which can provide a bit of pace, because Luis Suarez, we all know, is not the fastest guy on the field. But it's true that Diego Costa, who's also a fighter, who's a guy who can, bother defenders, and he's always on top of you. That's something that Atletico could use in this game. Yes. So that's a player they're not going to have. But overall, I guess Madrid playing at home, knowing they have to bring down the gap in points they have with Atletico, I think it makes sense to say that they should win this game.
Excellent. I would have rubbed it out if you'd have said Atletico to win. So I'm going to go to you, Martin. Real Madrid at home to Atletico Madrid. No Costa, and they're just going to rely on Suarez up front. And the big thing about Correa and Joao Felix, they run faster with the ball.
Well, we've got prop bet of the week already. Luis Suarez to bite somebody. I'm not sure what odds you can get on that, but
it looks like he's eaten someone already.
Very popular in the chat. I think he's eaten one of his teammates, and it's just weighing him down.
Yeah, we haven't seen Diego Costa for about 4 weeks.
Suarez has eaten Diego Costa. Okay,
and let me just interrupt you, Martin, because Rude Boy's just being stupid now, and he's saying Luis Suarez to score a hat-trick. Rude Boy, honestly, you got to get out. You got to mix. I mean, your social skills are horrendous. Get out and speak to normal people, and then you might be able to type normal things. Go on, Martin.
Yeah, I think it's a 2-horse race for me in La Liga this season. Real Sociedad lack the strength in depth. Barcelona have just got too many issues this season, and Sevilla don't win enough games, haven't got enough attacking firepower. So, yeah, it's between these two for me. And Atletico Madrid have come flying out of the blocks this season. They're still unbeaten. They're only defeat came in the Champions League against Bayern Munich. There's no shame in that. But yeah, they're on fire domestically. Strong at the back, as strong as you would expect them ever to be. I know Diego Costa's out, but most of their key players are fit and healthy for this one. I think they're going to give Real Madrid a really good game. I was extremely impressed with Real Madrid's performance in midweek. Not sure if that's just because Mönchengladbach had a shocking game, but they did look really good. They were putting some fantastic balls into the box. Benzema looked very sharp. So I think they're going to come into this game full of confidence. But I just feel like these teams are going to cancel one another out. 5 of the last 7 games between them in the league are finished in a draw. If you extend it to the Super Cup, 7 of the last 9 games have finished all square. So I always bet on a draw whenever these two teams play. Invariably, it comes in, and you can always get great odds on it. It's always 3 point something. I think I've got 3.4 this week on a draw. It's made me a lot of profit over the years, so I'm not going to stop now. I do think it's going to be another low-scoring game. Can see it being 1-1. If Real Madrid go on and win it by a single goal, I won't be too devastated. I'm only putting 1 unit on it, but I think a draw looks like the most likely option here. As I said, Atletico Madrid are still unbeaten, and there's a lot at stake. It's between these two for the title for me, so I don't think either one's going to want to lose, and they'd probably both take a draw if you offered it to them now. So I'm going for the draw, 3.4.
Yeah, splinters. Sit on the fence. But obviously, I fancy the draw at the halftime. Could well be it. I'm just looking forward to the matchups. I hope he plays Vinicius and he switches wings, and we'll see Trippier absolutely running in a sandpit. But it's a great game, and we'll all be watching it. Just another thing about homework and a little bit of analytics. If you're a female and you enjoy this video, can you just put a thumbs up or a comment? Because on my analytics, it said 100% men. But I've got people, sue me. Sue, are you a female? Rude boy, are you a female? So just please let me know, because it said on my analytics we were 100% male viewers, which I cannot work out, and I did question, to be honest. Okay. This one looks like you can get your teeth into it. I'm going to come to you first, Martin, because you've been on this train. In fact, they've let you drive the train with your little hat on, going, whoop, whoop. Sociedad, minus 150. Draw, plus 265. And Eibar at plus 550. Eibar are the type of side that just love going round and winning at big odds.
They do, don't they? I think they've probably busted quite a few coupons, as we like to say, in recent weeks. They're unbeaten in 4 games, and they've been up against, half decent opposition. They beat Real Betis 2-0, drew with Valencia, drew with Getafe, drew with Huesca. So they're a stubborn team to play against, considering the budget that they operate on, and they're doing very well once again. I really want to bet on Real Sociedad in this game. I just want to see the lineup. I mean, Oyarzabal's injured. If David Silva plays, then I'm going to be a lot more interested in betting on them. But they just really looked toothless in attack in that game against Alaves last time out. They didn't really have enough creativity. They couldn't unlock that defence in the closing stages when I thought they should have gone and won the game. So I don't really want to give a tip on them now when I don't know what the starting 11's going to be. I'll bet on Real Sociedad, just before the match, and I'd happily go, something like Real Sociedad and under 4.5 goals, or Real Sociedad and under 3.5 goals for more value. But as we sit here today, I'm not going to add it to my list of tips. Okay,
well, I've gone Sociedad. I wrote down, Roman, and over 1.5. I mean, it looks like it's good value. It'd be close to around maybe minus 110. But with Eibar, they have produced a couple of shocks this year.
Yeah, I mean, Eibar look a bit dangerous for this game, so I would be careful. Also, it has to be kept in mind that Eibar haven't conceded a goal in the last 3 games, so defensively they're beginning, to find their shape, their formation, how they want to make things work. And on the other hand, Real Sociedad, let's not forget, they just played against Napoli, a very important game. And next week, there's a midweek match against Barcelona. So if you take that in mind, and also keep in mind that, as Martin said, David Silva is doubtful and Oyarzabal are doubtful. They might even rest and wait for that Barca game, depending on what the coach wants. So I'm not too sure Real Sociedad will have an easy win, as many would imagine, keeping in mind these factors, because there might be a lot of rotations. There's a game before, a game after, so this could be something to keep in mind. And despite Eibar being the lowest scoring team, they could pull a draw. They could get something out of this, and it's also a derby in the end. It's a Basque derby, and that's something that always provides maybe a bit more intensity from part of the players who want to really live that game. So I'd be a bit careful with this game.
Really? Okay. I mean, because it did look like low-hanging fruit. Next game, I don't care. I'm going to go. I mean, listen, I went against Betis last week, and I'm just going to keep smashing them. Betis plus 210, draw plus 260, and Villarreal at plus 135. Not complicating this. Villarreal for me, different class to Betis, Roman.
Yeah, definitely Villarreal are a step ahead of Betis at the moment. They're at the top part of the standings. They're playing good football. Although their last few results haven't been fantastic for Villarreal, they're still the favourite side. And it is true that Villarreal won't have three interesting players for this game. Well, Alcácer is going to be out for a month, so up in attack we will only have Gerard Moreno because Baca is also unavailable. And then an important midfielder such as Moy Gomez isn't there either. But one thing Villarreal does have is squad depth, so they should be capable of finding solutions, whether it's with Take Kubo, for example, in that midfield. So they should still get a good result out of this game, although Betis did get their much-needed win last week, and Borja Iglesias finally scored a goal, which is also something very important for him. He was their star signing a couple of years ago, and he really never got into rhythm, so maybe he can start finding his groove now. But I think that Betis is a risky bet at the moment. They're still very irregular. They're kind of a Valencia style, I'd say, where they play some good games and some terrible games, and you don't know which way they're going. So if you want to pick a side, Villarreal is probably the safest bet.
Yeah, safe. And plus 135, Martin.
It's definitely an attractive set of odds on Villarreal. I'm also not 100% convinced because I know Real Betis are having a pretty bad season, but they do sort of have enough quality to pull out the odd decent result, as we saw when they beat Osasuna 2-0 last weekend.
Osasuna didn't lay a glove on them, though. They didn't even... See, the big thing about Betis is they're like a jigsaw. They go to pieces in the box, but they go to pieces in their own box. And Osasuna didn't test them in that box. Villarreal will be testing them. They don't go with runners. They mark space. I am so happy that Villarreal are plus 135.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm going to be cheering them on now that you're betting on. I'm a bit nervous that they drew 0-0 with Elche last weekend, and I'm a bit nervous that Alcácer's still out injured. You know, if they really did a man-marking job on Gerard Moreno, he's pretty much their only shining light in attack right now. So if they're really smart about it, they could mark him out of the game and battle to a draw. Evidence would suggest that they struggle defensively, Betis, and they don't really have that nous within them to do that. But yeah, I just think they could sneak a result. I'd be more comfortable going Villarreal draw no bet, but I'm leaving it. I'm also just really enjoying the chat today. They're saying I'm having too much fun, but I'm just really enjoying reading all the banter that everyone's having. Shout out to
what it's all about. That's
Laura
what it's all about.
Laura Popescu saying not 100% male here, so there's at least one female to boost our
I know a rude boy's not come out neither.
Oh no, I don't know.
And the rude boy said he's going to get hold of SBR and contact them and say that I'm abusing people in the chat. No, not people, just you. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. We're talking about Elche getting a great result last week. So it's Elche at plus 260, draw plus 205, and Granada plus 135. Martin, Granada, no thank you. They've done brilliantly in Europe, but Fred Bear, we love them when they're at home. They still can't win. Now, 3-1 down with a few minutes to go. They come back to 3-3. They hit the post in the 93rd minute for a 4-3 victory, which would have been absolutely brilliant for my own personal pocket. Do you think that they can kick on now? Or are you worried about them letting him free against Huesca? I've seen ugly men score more goals or score more than Huesca.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a bit underwhelmed by Granada all in all, basically. I said last week on the show that I think they've run out of steam a little bit and the volume of games has got to them. They're playing Europa League as well. They're still a pretty newly promoted side and they don't have the biggest squad. Paco said that was a bit unfair because they have really been struck hard by COVID, which is fair enough. I take that point. But yeah, the COVID outbreak does seem to have derailed their momentum. They don't seem to be at full fitness right now. They've just had a midweek Europa League game, which they drew. So I do think they're just struggling under the sheer volume of matches they're playing. I think they're a very talented team, but yeah, it's just that syndrome that you get when a newly promoted team gets straight into the Europa League and starts to struggle. Elche, exceeding expectations so far. Can't stop drawing at the moment, so I'd be worried again that this was going to be a draw. Maybe another draw no bet. Maybe put it in a parlay with Villarreal, both draw no bet, and see what happens.
Okay. Also, a little bit of a moan at the chat. You're not concentrating. You're not concentrating. You're all messing about like your kids in the classroom. I'm the teacher. You've got to sort yourselves out. Fab, how comes that no one said to me about the records from last week, please?
True.
Thank you very much. Martin, plus 220. La Liga Lowdown, minus 258. So it's going the right way. Flash, minus 550. And the parlay, I don't even know listen, if he was a footballer, I'd be dropping him. Minus 752, because we keep picking winning parlays and then we go off it and put something else in and it comes out negative. Okay, total's only 1440. So let's really rip into that this week. Roman, Granada. The whole foundation is on their home games. We know that. They did brilliantly last year. They've been abysmal in La Liga, but in Europe, they've done what they needed to do.
Yeah, and I remember when we were talking about them a couple of months ago when they started the competition, the season, we were all aboard the Granada train. They were doing so well, playing such good football. But we did say that at some point they were going to feel the struggle of playing a Europa League competition, and the Copa del Rey still is yet to come. So I really think that now they're starting to feel all this pressure, all these games upon them, lots of rotations, lots of players getting injured, COVID, etc. So I do really think that Granada are going to have a difficult game against an Elche, which is very strong, who's very compact. It's hard to get a win against Elche, despite being a team that just came up from Segunda División. And I really do like a draw for this game because in the Spanish League, there's more draws this season than ever, I'd say. There's been a lot of draws lately, and I think this is one of those games that looks like it could go that way because Granada are a good side. Elche don't score too many goals, and I think they could kind of cancel them out, taking into account what we said, that Granada are not in their best form. So I think a draw would make quite a lot of sense for this match.
Or just leave it alone, because obviously you don't lose anything when you leave it alone, and maybe just wait for Granada. But I feel Granada will pay us handsomely once they just settle themselves down, get themselves back into a routine. And now we've got no European competition till March. They can and obviously we don't want any COVID problems there because they have been blighted. Now let's go to Barcelona, mid-table mediocrity, minus 375, draw plus 600, and Levante at plus 1100. Roman, try not to cry. What is going on with Barca?
Well, it's a complicated season. It's a transition, I'd say. The end of last season was terrible. Then all the things that have been happening around the club, with the president leaving, with all the fans unhappy. I was expecting a tough season this year, honestly. I know that we have good players, but overall we just kind of expected this to go this way. I mean, I think the Champions League would be a great success. I mean, qualifying for the Champions League, not winning it. Don't get me wrong. I think that would be a great success for Barcelona this season because the title is just very far away. And we've seen that Barca really, really struggles against the stronger sides, especially like Madrid, as we said the other day against Juventus. When there's a strong side in front of us, Sevilla, etc., we just can't get a win. And also against sides which close really well defensively, such as Cadiz, for example, that are very, very solid at the back, that are very work their formation really well and don't make very few errors. So that's something that Barca really struggles against, although I don't think Levante is that case. I don't think Levante is a great defending side. They haven't conceded many goals recently, that's true. But I think at home, Barcelona should have the edge, and Koeman needs the win after that very poor image against Juventus. So I don't think there's much to bet here in this game, unless you really think that Levante could get a win. But I believe that Barca should do the logic thing and get their win at home against them. Yeah,
Barcelona love a 4-0 if they're going to win. I can't see them getting beat because Levante only draw games 1-1 until we go with Levante last week, and they decide to put on a little bit of a show, Martin.
I hope Barcelona do win 4-0 because I'm going for Barcelona to win and under 4.5 goals in this one. So that would just
what price is that?
Sneak me in. That's 1.91. So minus
110. That's decent. That.
Yes, I think it's a very good price. After it was a bit of a shambles, wasn't it, against Juventus? And I don't think after suffering a defeat like that, it would be rare for them just to come out and win 5-0. I know they'll have a point to prove, but you would expect their confidence to have taken a bit of a knock in that game. They just seem to lack a bit of pace and energy in the team at the moment, a bit of spark. And I think they will win this match. I just don't think they're going to totally blow Levante away. Levante beat Getafe 3-0 last weekend, 4-1 all draws on the bounce before that. So, they've conceded fewer than a goal per game in their last 5 matches. So they're looking a lot tighter at the back than they were last season anyway. So I think they'll go and put up a decent fight at Barcelona this weekend. But you would expect that with the attacking firepower Barca have, they would get the job done against a team like Levante. It's time for them to start climbing up the table now. Don't think they're going to win the league, but they should still be good enough for a top 4 finish. And you've got to be beating teams like Levante.
Okay, Rampage in the chat. You've got 2 options. You can even go and see a doctor yourself, or we'll ring the men in white coats and they'll come and get you. Levante banker, he said, plus 1100. The men in white coats are already on their way. So it's either stand by the front door and let them take you, or go to the doctor on your own, because you have got problems, my lad. Let's move on to the final game, and it's Celta minus 125, draw plus 275. And the Cadiz boys at plus 430. We had Cadiz double chance last week against Barcelona, and it came up trumps. Martin.
We did. I kind of want to bet on Celta Vigo in this game. I just think they've been looking a lot better going forward in recent weeks. They sort of seem to be creating enough chances for their forwards to put away. It was a very good morale-boosting victory for Cadiz last weekend. So I think both of these teams will go into the game with quite a lot of confidence. I was kind of thinking both teams to score might be interesting as well. Cadiz don't exactly have a rock solid defence, despite playing quite a conservative brand of football. Whereas Celta Vigo, we know, struggle at the back, but very good going forward. So yeah, I'd be looking at both teams to score maybe if I was going to play anything in this game, but I don't really feel confident enough in it to pull the trigger. I think there's a lot of games like that this weekend. I don't really like this card in La Liga at all, so I've only got a couple of official selections.
What about Cadiz double chance, Roman?
Yeah, that's one of my picks. I took a bit of a risk there because I think Cadiz, they're in good form. Beating Barcelona definitely gives you a morale boost. It's a massive game for them to win, and they played really well in that game, and that's proof that they can do the same in other games. Of course, the motivation is always extra when you play against Barcelona, you play against Madrid, but I just kind of feel that they could get something out of this, despite Celta, who have won their last 2 games in a row. That's true. They're starting to find maybe some form with their new manager, but defensively they're not a great side, so I kind of think that Cadiz could get something out of this game. So I think a double chance is a reasonable option.
So Jack Pancake saying in the chat that he fancies there's draws all over the place. So then if you fancy there's draws, then just go with the double chance on the bigger side. And obviously you've got 2 of the free runners. Let's have a look at the official picks, please, Fabian. And also Laura Popescu, obviously we love that because you're a rose in amongst 135 watching fawns. And Vlad, do you know Laura? Because obviously you share the same name. So I'm using my small brain and think, well, maybe, just maybe, you're from the same household. Here we go. Martin, you've gone a bit overboard, haven't you? Real Madrid, draw plus 240. Let's hope that's not the case. Barcelona to win and under 4.5 at minus 110. Sean Max says that Barcelona go over 4 goals this week. So, again, he's gone head-to-head with you. Now, Sevilla to win and under 3.5 at plus 155. I like that, Roman. Cadiz double chance at plus 108. That's decent. Alaves, draw no bet. Plus 143. Oh, you've copied me there. Elche draw at plus 210. Then, okay, Flash has gone for 5. Madrid, plus 145. Tick it off. Alaves, draw no bet at plus 140. Now, that was going to be my banker. I was so close to doing 2 bankers, by the way. Sevilla to win at plus 110. I fancy it could be a little 1-0, 2-0. Valladolid tonight, plus 150 to get me off to a flying start this weekend in La Liga. And there's the banker. Villarreal plus 135. They'll go there and they will get the job done. Now we need a 2-team parlay. I need you boys to be rock solid on this because a couple of weeks ago when Roman was on, you both picked the 2 winners. And then you changed and we put in Granada and they let us down. Okay, first of all, Roman, give me yours, please.
I think I'm going to go with Sevilla. I kind of think they're the stronger side. I kind of think they should win against Getafe because Getafe, as we said, are not in good form at the moment. And whether it's a win or something like that, I think Sevilla have to get those 3 points. So hopefully this time we'll get it right with Sevilla.
Okay, we're going with Sevilla. That's one of the 2-team parlay. Now, Martin, what about you? Give me one, please.
Well, I've only got 2 picks, haven't I? And Real Madrid.
I know, but surely we've influenced you. Or I'm happy because I'll just go straight Villarreal. Or no, in fact, I'm going to take it away from you. I'm going Alaves, draw no bet, because that's at plus money as well.
What about Barcelona?
So we're going to go
Barcelona. Barcelona to beat Levante.
Barcelona under 4.5.
Yeah.
No, because they might win 6.
Just go for a straight Barcelona win. Put it
minus 375. No, listen, there's no squirrels there. Did you not see Parlay? Parlay is hanging on like a thread in our in our records. It's the first parlay ever to be kicked off a team. We need this. And it's Alaves, draw no bet at plus 108, right? Sevilla plus 110. So that's like plus 315 in units. And I'll tell you what, Parlay is desperate for 315. Now, if you like this video, and why wouldn't you? It's been a cracker. I've really enjoyed everyone's contributions in the chat. They've been quite funny, which is obviously completely different to normal because you're normally a bunch of dullards. But this week, you've been great. So let's hope that continues, because next Friday, same time, same place, we'll be going for La Liga week 14. And then the following week, you've got 2 doses because it's Christmas. Okay, please subscribe if you haven't. If you're part of that 32% that watches and doesn't subscribe, please press the button, ring the bell. And ring the bell means that I can notify you. And then you'll never miss any content again. Also, press the link in the description. That will take you over to the articles. And if you can read, because I know there's a few in there that can't, though, parlays, singles, and there's loads of other articles from all the sports that we cover on SBR. Have a great weekend to absolutely everybody in the chat. I really do appreciate everything you do. Roman, great weekend. Good luck to your Barcelona. Good luck to my Real Madrid. And just hope that Barcelona don't score 5 for you, Martin.
Yeah, 4-0 to Barcelona. Make it a great weekend.
Excellent. Look forward to that, and I'll see you on Monday, because we have a Premier League show on Monday. We also have a Serie A show on Monday and a Bundesliga just in the middle. We'll see you all soon. You take care.
Take care, guys.